The Terran patrol ship Iron Spear moved slowly through the edge of the Tyro's rift, an area of space filled with debris, forgotten wrecks, and silence. Sergeant Dale sat in the command chair, sipping cold coffee from a metal cup. His face showed years of duty lines of tiredness, scars of old battles, but his eyes were still sharp. "Sir," said Maya, the ship's pilot, "we're picking up something strange. Looks like a dead ship. No signal. Drifting." Dale leaned forward. "Type alien. Vedtrax design. A prison ship." That made the room go quiet. The Vedtrax were a proud alien species, tall and silver-skinned, once at war with Earth. The war ended 5 years ago, but memories stayed fresh. Prison ships meant danger or secrets. "Bring us closer," Dale said. As Iron Spear approached, the image on the screen became clearer. The alien ship was huge, but broken. Its back end was missing. Wires and pipes floating like tentacles. There were signs of battle burn marks, holes, twisted metal, life signs. Dale asked. "Very weak," said Maya. 3, ... maybe 4. But fading. Dale stood. "Prep a boarding team." A few minutes later, Dale walked through the broken halls of the alien ship with 2 soldiers, Ken and Ludo. The air inside was thin and cold. Lights blinked and flickered. Sparks danced in the dark. They moved slowly. Weapons ready. Cages lined the walls. Lelian prisoners, some still inside, many dead. The smell of burnt plastic and blood hung in the air. Dale didn't speak. He had seen war. He had seen death. But even this was worse than usual. Then they saw her. One of the cages had burst open, but inside sat a woman. Her skin was silver blue. Her hair was long and dark, her eyes glowing faintly like stars. She didn't look injured, just ... calm. Her eyes met Dale's. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She just sat still. "Who are you?" Dale asked. She didn't answer. Ken raised his scanner. "She's alive. Vital signs stable. No weapons." "Ma'am," Dale said again, carefully, "we're human soldiers. We're not here to hurt you. Do you understand us?"
He nodded slowly.
"Can you walk?" She stood, graceful but cautious. Her arms stayed close to her sides. See, she was strong, but hiding it. He turned to leave. But then she spoke softly, almost a whisper. "Don't tell anyone I'm a princess." Dale froze. "What?" But she said no more. Back on the Iron Spear, the woman sat quietly in the med bay. She said her name was Suna. She gave no last name, no planet, no details. The medical scans showed she was healthy, but her heart rate stayed slow-controlled. Calm Dale watched from outside the glass window. Maya came up beside him. "She's different," Maya said. "She said something strange before we left," Dale replied. "Told me not to tell anyone she's a princess. You think it's true?" "I don't know." They watched her sit still, staring at nothing. "She's hiding something," Dale added, "but I don't think it's dangerous." Next few days, Suna became a silent guest. She didn't speak unless spoken to. She ate alone. She avoided the crew. But she also caused no trouble. She read human books on the datapad. She helped a mechanic fix a broken door without being asked. She was quiet but not weak. One night, Dale walked into the observation deck. Suna was already there, sitting alone. Staring at the stars, he didn't leave. He sat a few steps away. "You like watching the stars?" he asked. She nodded. "I used to do that as a kid," Dale said. "Back on Earth, before I joined the army." She glanced at him. "Earth, that's your home?" "Yes. Blue skies, forests, music." He smiled slightly. "Too many rules, though." She looked away. "Sounds nice. Your home?" he asked. "What was it like?" She didn't answer at first. Then she said, "My home had singing trees." Singing. When the wind passed through their leaves, it made music. Real music. Dale was quiet. "Sounds better than Earth." She looked at him. "Why did you come to save this ship?" "We thought someone might be alive." "And you were." "Would your people risk their lives for a stranger?" "Sometimes," he said. That's what makes us human. She looked at the stars again. Later that night, Dale checked the ship's sensor logs. Something was wrong. The system showed a faint signal coming from Suna, like a tracker. Is she tagged? He asked Maya. Maybe. But this code. It's not just any tracker. This is royal-level encryption. Dale's eyes narrowed. She wasn't lying. She was a princess. He went back to the med bay. Suna sat on the bed, calm as always. She looked at him as he entered. You're telling the truth. Aren't you? He asked. She didn't answer. Why are you running? They tried to kill me, she said simply. Your people? She nodded. Why? Because I said no to war. I said no to greed. And I said no to a marriage I didn't choose. Her voice was quiet but strong. Now they want me gone. If they know I'm alive, they'll come again. Dale stood still. For a long time, then he said, You're safe here. She looked into his eyes. Promise me. I promise, he said. Outside, the stars kept shining. But somewhere, beyond the dark, others were watching. The tracker blinked. A signal pulsed. And far across the stars, warships began to move. The hunt for the hidden princess had just begun. Inside the dark corridors of the Iron Spear, things were quiet, but tension floated in the air like smoke. Sergeant Dale stood in the control room, staring at the scanner screen. A small blinking light moved slowly across the edge. Is that a ship? He asked. Maya tapped the console. Yes, sir. It's coming fast. Unregistered signal. Not V-tracks. Not human either. Dale frowned. Friend or enemy? Too early to tell, but I don't like the way it's flying. No radio contact. No ID signal. It's scanning us aggressively. Dale turned to the comms unit. Wake everyone. Red alert. The alarm buzzed through the ship, flashing red lights in every hallway. Soldiers ran to their stations. Doors. Locked into combat position. Weapons charged up in the med bay. Aliris, till known to most of the crew as Suna, stood calmly as two guards came to escort her. Come with us, said one. Why? She asked. Sergeant's orders. Possible danger. She followed them without a word. As they walked, she looked around carefully, memorizing corners, emergency hatches, air vents like someone trained to escape if needed. Back in the control room, Maya's voice grew sharper. They've launched drones. Armed. Coming straight for us. Dale gritted his teeth. Battle mode. Raise shields. Power weapons. The unknown ship closed in. Its shape was long and jagged, like it had been built in secret, hidden from all. Maps. Black metal. No light. No flag. Target their lead drone, Dale ordered. A flash of light filled the screen as the Iron Spear fired its railgun. One drone exploded. 3 more replaced it. We're outnumbered, Maya said. Fast, light crafts. Not built for battle. They're here for something else. They're here for her, Dale said. He looked at Alira, standing beside the wall silently. Her eyes met his. She didn't speak, but he could see the answer in them. The first blast shook the Iron Spear. Lights flickered. The floor shook. A pipe burst in one hallway. Sparks flew from a panel. Shields at 60%, shouted Ken from the weapons deck. They're boarding, Maya warned. For enemy dropships just launched. Dale hit the intercom. All hands defense. Teams prepare for contact. Protect the engine room and medbay. Then he turned to Alira. They're coming for you. I know, she said. I can hide you in the lower decks. Behind security doors, you'll be safe. Quietly, if they board, your people will die for me, and I won't let that happen. Dale paused. Do you have a plan? I can move faster than they think, she said. I know their tech. Was raised in a palace full of it. Give me access to your lower deck controls. Concealed doors. Trap them inside. Dale hesitated. Could he trust her? But something in her voice felt sure clear, like a leader. He gave a short nod. Go with Ludo. He'll show you the way. Alira and the soldier disappeared down the hallway. Minutes later, the enemy ships latched onto the hull. magnetic clamps. Locked doors were cut open by hot plasma tools. Enemy soldiers stall, masked, covered in dark armor, stormed inside. They didn't speak. They didn't shoot to kill. They used stun beams, searching. Fan out, shouted Dale. Protect Section 3. Firefight broke out near the cargo bay. Ken and two others fired pulse rifles behind cover. Enemies advanced with silent steps. One soldier reached the control doors of the lower deck. Suddenly, alarms blared. Steam hissed from vents. The floor panels opened and snapped shut, traps triggered. The enemy fell through a hole, screaming into the lower waste shaft. Alira's voice came on the internal comm system. I've sealed 3 entry points, sending them in circles. Have 2 minutes, Dale smiled. Good work, Princess. Meanwhile, Alira moved through the shadows like a ghost. She didn't panic. Her eyes tracked the map on the wall. She turned off lights behind her, confused motion sensors, jammed locks. Wasn't just a royal she was trained. Dale watched the security feed and realized she had been preparing for this her whole life. Back in the engine room, Dale met 2 soldiers holding off another wave. One enemy tried to flank, but Dale kicked open a side panel and shot him with a stun bolt. We've got to get out of here, Maya's voice shouted over the comms. We're not built to fight a war. She was right. They couldn't win a full-on battle. Not like this. Dale made a decision. Maya, prep the jump drive. Give me 60 seconds. He turned to Ken. I need you to slow them down. We're pulling a blind jump. We need time. Ken grinned. One last dance. I'm in. Ken ran off toward the cargo deck, carrying a backpack full of flash mines and EMP grenades. Dale opened the lower hatch and called into it. Alira, get back here now. We're jumping. I need 30 more seconds. Her voice came back. You've got 20. Alira finished her work overriding the enemy ships. Magnetic grip by rerouting power through the airlock vents. She reached the ladder and climbed fast. Just as the doors behind her burst open and enemies spilled in, Ludo fired behind her to cover. They made it to the hatch. Jump drive at 98%, Maya called. Ken's status, Dale asked. Ken's voice came back, calm but shaky. Bought you time. You're following me. Hit the button, boss. Ken, don't argue. Do it. Dale clenched his jaw. He hated this part of war. Jumping now, Maya said with a flash of white light. Iron Spear vanished from that space, leaving behind a cloud of sparks. Broken piece. Sazand and enemy fleet blinking in confusion. Silence returned inside the ship. The crew checked systems. The engines cooled. Dale sat in the command chair, breathing slowly. Then Alira walked in, hair slightly messy, eyes sharp. Did we make it? We did, he said. Thanks to you. I should thank you, she said. We didn't have. To protect me, I did, Dale replied. Because you're not just a princess. You're someone worth protecting. She looked at him for a moment, then turned to the stars. Then let's find a place where I don't have to hide. The stars outside the ship looked calm, but inside the Iron Spear, everyone was tense. The jump had saved them, but it came with a cost. They'd escaped the enemy fleet, but now they were off course, deep in unknown space. With no nearby friendly stations, Dale sat at the command table with his crew. The lights were dim, the map flickering on the wall. We need repairs, said Maya. Main thruster took damage. Shields are weak. Jump drive is burnt out. How long to fix it? Dale asked. 2 or 3 days, maybe more if we don't find the right materials. Dale nodded. And what about food and water? For a week, said Ludo. Dale rubbed his forehead. We'll need to stay hidden, quiet. No signals, no calls. The room fell silent. Then someone asked, and what about her? Everyone looked toward the hallway where Alira had gone after the jump. Alira still using the name Suna sat alone in the engine room. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to help. She watched as a mechanic named Ben worked on a power. Conduit, pass me the blue cable, Ben said. Alira handed it to him without a word. Then she pointed at a switch. That one's misaligned, she said softly. Ben blinked. You're right. How'd you notice? I grew up around starships. I watched engineers work every day. Ben gave a small smile. Well, I'm glad. You're watching? You've got sharp eyes. Alira gave a small nod and continued helping in silence. Later that evening, the crew gathered in the mess hall. A few people sat in corners, talking softly. The room wasn't full of laughter or joy, but it wasn't full of fear either. Alira walked in slowly, sure if she was welcome. People stared, some whispered, but no one stopped her. She picked a quiet corner and sat with a bowl of soup. Spoon felt strange in her hand. Human food was different, spicy, simple, warm. Then Dale walked in. He saw her sitting alone and walked straight toward her. Mind if I sit? He asked. She looked up. If you want. He sat down and placed his tray beside hers. For a while neither spoke. Then Dale said, People are starting to ask who you are. Alira stirred her soup. And what will you tell them? I'll tell them what I know. You helped us. You risked your life. You saved my crew. That's enough for now. She looked at him. Thank you. Dale took a bite of his food. You're still hiding, though. Even here, Alira lowered her eyes. When you grow up with guards and false smiles, hiding becomes normal. Being quiet becomes safe. Dale nodded. We don't ask much here. Just honesty and loyalty. You've shown both. She looked at him. Do you always trust this easily? No, he said. But I've learned to trust actions more than titles. The next morning, Maya found Dale in the cockpit. We've drifted close to a small moon. It has resources, metal, gas, and maybe a few plants. Any life signs? Dale asked. No, empty, but good for repairs. Send down a small team, he said. We'll mine what we can and be gone before anyone sees. He paused, then added, Take Alira. Maya raised an eyebrow. You sure? She needs to feel useful. She's not a prisoner anymore. The shuttle landed on the rocky moon. Gray dust covered everything, and sharp cliffs reached into the sky like broken teeth. Alira stepped out onto the surface. Wearing a light armor suit, she looked around, amazed at the silence. No guards, she whispered. No towers, just sky. Maya chuckled. Welcome to freedom. They started collecting minerals from the rocks using small drills. Alira watched closely, then grabbed a tool and joined in. She didn't talk much, but she worked hard. After 2 hours, Maya called a break. She sat on a flat stone, drinking water. Alira joined her. You're not like other royals, Maya said. I was never allowed to be one, Alira answered. What do you mean? My father was kind, but his council feared peace. They wanted war, power, control. When I started asking questions, they pushed me aside. I became a symbol, not a person. Maya looked at her. You're not a symbol now. You're one of us. Alira didn't reply. But for the first time in days, she smiled. Small, true smile, back on the iron. Spear, the crew slowly began to accept her. She helped fix engines, cleaned rooms, and taught the navigator alien star patterns. Even Ken, the serious weapons officer, gave her a nod of respect. One night, the crew gathered on the observation deck to watch a passing comet. A trail of glowing ice crossed the sky. Alira stood beside Dale, wrapped in a human blanket. She didn't speak. She just stared at the light. It's beautiful, she whispered. It is, Dale said. You don't see things like this during war. I hope I'll never have to see war again, she said. Dale looked at her. If your people find you, what will happen? They'll want me to disappear, she said. They fear my voice. If I speak, others will listen. They want silence. Dale nodded. And we'll make sure they don't find you. Not until you're ready. Alira turned to him. And if I decide to stop hiding, then we'll stand beside you. Far across the stars, a dark ship moved through space. Inside it, a tall Vetrax commander stared at a screen showing the iron spear. The signal had gone dark, but not lost. We found her trail again, the officer said. The commander's voice was cold. Send the message. All ships, all agents. She must not be allowed to speak. The hunt was far from over. The iron spear floated quietly in the shadow of a blue gas giant. Its hull still showed damage, but its systems were mostly stable again. Inside, the crew was busy fixing wires, checking weapons, and scanning for signals. But deep in the lower deck, hidden behind layers of steel, something strange began to happen. Alira sat alone in a dark storage room. She had asked Dale to give her a private space somewhere quiet where she could think. He agreed. After all, she had earned his trust. But now she wasn't just thinking. She was remembering. Alira placed her hand on the cold metal wall. She whispered a code in her old language, soft and ancient. The wall glowed faintly. A small square opened, revealing a hidden compartment inside her suit. She reached in and pulled out a silver disc, no larger than her palm. It blinked once red to green. It was a memory key. One of the few items she had kept from her home world. She placed the disc on the ground and activated it. A blue light filled the room, and a hologram flickered to life. It showed a giant city in the clouds tall, silver towers, flying ships, bright bridges of light. It was Vitraxa, Prime, her home. The image shifted. A tall alien man stood beside her in the memory. He wore a royal robe. His face was kind. His hand rested gently on Alira's shoulder. "My daughter," he said in the recording, "you were born not just to rule, but to change everything." Alira reached out and touched the image. Her fingers passed through it. Then the voice changed. A new figure appeared. A council leader. His tone was cold. The people must not know her thoughts. She questions too much. If she speaks, others will rise. This must end. The last image showed a prison ship, the same one Dale had rescued her from. She had been sent away, not to protect her, but to erase her. A knock came at the door. Alira quickly shut off the memory key and hid it. The door opened slowly. It was Dale. He stepped inside, his face calm, but his eyes searching. "Everything okay?" he asked. Alira nodded but didn't speak. Dale looked at her for a moment. "You've been quiet lately. Quieter than usual, I'm thinking." "About what, truth," she said, "and what it costs." Dale didn't answer right away. He sat down beside her on the floor. The storage room was small and dark, but quiet. Alira turned to him. "Do you know what it's like to have a voice and be told not to use it?" Dale looked at her gently. "I've seen soldiers ordered to stay silent about things they saw. Some followed. Some didn't, the ones who spoke. They changed the world." Alira looked at the floor. "If I speak, there will be war. And if you stay silent, my people will stay broken, controlled, afraid." Dale leaned forward. "Then maybe the question is, who will stand with you when you speak?" She met his eyes. "Will you?" Dale didn't hesitate. "I already am." Later that night, Dale called a meeting in the briefing room. Only his closest crew were present: Maya, Ken, Ludo, and the ship's medic. Alira stood beside Dale. He spoke first. "There's something you all need to know." "About Suna," Alira raised her hand. "My name is Alira, daughter of King Veller of Vitraxa Prime. I was first in line to the throne, but I refused to lead in silence. My voice was seen as dangerous, so they locked me away." Silence filled the room. Ken's eyebrows rose. Maya looked stunned. Then Ludo said softly, "So, you're a real princess." Alira nodded. "But I'm not here to ask for a throne. I only want my people to be free." Ken crossed his arms. "If we help you, we could all be hunted." "You already are," Dale said. "You've been marked since the day we saved her." Maya leaned forward. "Then maybe we stop hiding." Alira looked at each of them. "I'm not asking for your lives. I only ask for your help to send one message to my people. Let them know I'm alive. Let them choose." Dale turned to the crew. "If anyone wants out, I won't stop you." No one moved. Ken grinned. "Guess we're in." Over the next day, the crew worked together in secret. They searched for an old communications relay in nearby space, a hidden one, left from the war. It was broken, but with repairs. It could send a signal across star systems. Dale planned the route. Maya handled the stealth settings. Alira prepared the message in her small room. She recorded a simple video. "My name is Alira, daughter of Veller. I am not dead. I am not silent." The people deserve truth. Peace is possible, but only if we rise together. She ended it with her symbol, a glowing mark that only true royals could use. As the ship neared the relay station, danger returned. Maya spotted it first. Incoming ship? V-Trax design. Same signature as the hunter ships. Dale cursed under his breath. They found us. He turned to Alira. Are you ready to run? No, she said. I'm ready to speak. The chase began again. The iron spear flew low through an asteroid belt, dodging rocks and lasers. The enemy ship followed faster, with stronger weapons. Alira stayed in the signal room, hands flying across the panel. Uploading message, she said. 20 seconds. Dale shouted over the radio. We don't have 20. Then buy me time, she yelled back. Ken launched flares. Maya spun the ship through narrow tunnels of space. Ludo fired from the side turrets. The enemy ship struck the rear Hullen. Another hit would destroy the engine. 5 seconds, Alira cried. Dale closed his eyes. Hold together. Come on. Message sent. Alira shouted. Maya pulled the ship upward. Get us out of here. Dale hit the jump button. Iron Spear vanished again in a flash of blue light, leaving the enemy chasing ghosts. Far across the galaxy, people saw the message. On quiet farming moons. In hidden rebel camps, in old city streets Viewership, citizens looked up at flickering screens, and they saw her, not as a prisoner, not as a princess, but as a voice. And in that moment, the silence began to break. The iron spear floated quietly in a hidden part of space, hidden between two small moons near a dying star. Its jump drive was cooling, and systems were being checked after the emergency escape. Lights were dim, and silence filled the ship. Inside the command room, Dale stood at the front panel with Maya beside him. Any signals? He asked. None, Maya replied. But that doesn't mean we're safe. Ken entered the room with his tablet. Bad news. The rear thrusters fried. We'll need 3 days before we can jump again. Dale nodded. Then we stay dark. No signals, no lights. We wait. He turned to the side screen, where Alira's message had just finished playing again. She stood tall in the video, her voice steady. She didn't sound like a lost girl anymore. She sounded like a leader. It's already spreading, Maya said. The message was picked up by 3 free Viewership systems. People are sharing it. That means others are tracking it too, Dale said. They'll come. Meanwhile, Alira sat in the observation room, staring at the dark star outside. She had changed her clothes, no longer hiding in a jumpsuit, but wearing a simple dark blue robe that one of the medics had sewn for her. It wasn't royal, but it was hers. Ludo entered quietly and handed her a cup of warm tea. You haven't said much today, he said. Alira took the cup and nodded. I'm thinking about what? About what happens next. Ludo sat across from her. Sent your message. That's a big step. It's only the beginning, she said. The real battle hasn't started yet. He looked at her carefully. You ready for it? Alira didn't answer right away. Then she said, no, but I'll stand anyway. Later that night, Dale sat alone in the briefing room, watching star maps. He was calculating risks, scanning routes, and thinking about the crew. His team was tired. Supplies were low. They were being hunted by an empire. Still no one had given up. Then the door opened. Alira stepped inside. You should rest, she said. Dale looked up. So should you. She smiled slightly. I can't sleep. Lean back in the chair. Too much on your mind? She nodded. I used to think power came from crowns and armies, but now I see it comes from people, from choices. She walked over to the map and pointed to a small system. There. That moon has a Viewership colony, loyal to my family long ago. If we go there, maybe they will help. Dale looked at the moon on the screen. It's risky. They'll expect us to run, to hide, she said. If we go straight into Viewership space, we might surprise them. Dale studied her face. You're changing, no, she said quietly. I'm just becoming who I was always meant to be. The next day. The crew gathered for a meeting. Dale stood beside Alira. We've got a new path, he said. It's dangerous, but it's our best shot. He pointed at the moon she had chosen. This place could give us help, allies, fuel, maybe even a fleet. Ken crossed his arms. Or it could be a trap. Could be, Dale agreed. But we didn't come this far just to run. Maya spoke next. How soon do we move? 3 days, Ken said. If nothing hits us before then. Everyone turned to Alira. She stood tall. If anyone wants to leave when we reach safety, I won't stop you. I know this isn't your war, but if you stay, I'll fight beside you, not above you. There was a pause. Then Ludo grinned. You've got our loyalty, princess. Ken sighed. Guess I'm in too. Maya smiled. We're not just crew. Anymore, we're part of something bigger. But not everyone in the galaxy wanted peace. A Vetrax battlecruiser named Talon of the Crown was on the move. Inside, Commander Drex paced the floor. He stared at a large screen showing the Iron Spear's last known location. The message has been seen by over 100 colonies, Soldier reported. Loyalists are speaking her name again. Commander? Drex slammed his fist on the table. She should have been gone. The council failed. Now the people believe in her. What are your orders, sir? Find the humans, he growled. Destroy the ship. If the princess is alive, ... Bring her to me. Back on the Iron Spear, Alira stood in the garden, a small green space with real earth plants. The air was warmer there, quiet, peaceful. Dale entered and walked beside her. Do you think your people will fight for you? He asked. Some will, she said. Others will fear, but I won't beg them. I'll show them. He looked at her. You've changed this crew. We didn't know what we were standing for before. Now we do. She turned to him. You gave me the chance. You believed in me, and I still do. They stood in silence. Then the emergency alarm rang. Maya's voice came over the speakers. Unknown ship approaching fast Vetrax class. Large. Armed. Dale and Alira rushed to the bridge. It's the Talon of the Crown, Ken said. That's no scout. That's a warship. They must have followed the signal trail, Maya said. It's our fault the message brought them. No, Alira said. The message woke the truth. That's never wrong. Dale turned to Maya. Can we run? Not yet, she said. Jump drive needs 6 more hours. Dale stared at the screen. We'll have to fight. Everyone took their positions. Can arm the railguns. Ludo, the mechanic, prepared the defense shields. Alira stood near the back, watching quietly. Dale looked at her. We'll protect you. She shook her head. We'll protect each other. The enemy's ship grew closer. Red lights filled the bridge. Weapons locked. Engines roared. Dale raised his voice. All hands. Battle stations. The war was no longer waiting. It had come to them. Red lights flashed across the Iron Spear's bridge. A low alarm buzzed in the background, steady and cold like a drumbeat. Side, the Vetrax warship Talon of the Crown moved closer. It looked like a giant dark sword gliding through space. Sergeant Dale stood at the front panel, jaw tight. Enemy ship approaching fast. They're charging weapons, said Maya. Distance, Dale asked. 10,000 kilometers in closing. At this rate, we have 3 minutes. Ken's voice came over the intercom from the weapons deck. Railguns are hot. Missiles are ready. Shields, Dale asked. Running at 70%, said Ludo, still damaged from the last fight. Dale nodded. Then we'll have to be smart. He looked over at Alira, who had entered the bridge. She stood tall and calm, her hands folded in front of her. They won't stop, will they? Dale asked her. No, she replied. To them, I'm a symbol of rebellion. If I live, their lies fall apart. Then we give them something to fear, Dale said. In the lower deck, soldiers and engineers rushed through narrow halls. Small defense drones were activated and placed near weak sections of the hull. Flash mines were locked into the airlocks. Ludo was checking the shield generator when he heard footsteps. It was Alira. You shouldn't be down here, he said. I can help, she replied. I know Vetrax code. They're targeting systems. I grew up watching battle drills. Ludo handed her a control panel. All right, princess. Let's make you part of the team. The talon of the crown fired its first shot. A bright green beam of energy cut through space, striking the Iron Spear's shields. The ship shook. Alarms blared. "Shield down to 58%, shouted Ludo. Ken fired back. Twin railguns launched 2 high-speed slugs. One hit the enemy ship's side armor. Sparks flew, but the ship kept coming. Dale leaned over to Maya. "Take us into the asteroid field. Make them chase us where their size becomes a problem." Maya grinned. "Now we're talking." The Iron Spear turned hard and raced toward a nearby field of rocks. Huge chunks of stone floated in space, some the size of buildings. The vet tracks. Ship followed. Inside the talon of the crown, Commander Drek stared at the screen. "They're running into the field," his officer said. Drek smiled. "Good. They're cornered. Send in the fighters." Small black enemy ships launched from the cruiser, 6 of them. Fast and deadly, they chased the Iron Spear like wolves after prey. On board the Iron Spear, Ken watched the fighters come closer. Targets. Incoming. Multiple fast crafts. "Fire at will," Dale ordered. The ship's turret spun and blasted one fighter, sending it spinning into a rock. Another flew past, shooting plasma rounds that tore across the side of the ship. Alira tapped into the enemy signal system. "I'm sending false targets," she said. "They'll chase shadows." Shh. 2 fighters broke formation, confused by the fake signals. One slammed into a large rock. The other hit a mine Ludo had planted, gone in a flash of light. "Nice work," Dale said to her. "Keep jamming them." Alira nodded. "They won't know what's real anymore." The Iron Spear weaved between asteroids. Its small size gave it an edge. The larger Vetrax cruiser struggled to follow without taking damage. Maya twisted the controls, dodging one rock, then another. Sweat dripped from her forehead. "This is insane," she said. "But I love it." Ken kept firing. 2 more down. "Only 1 left," Dale said. "Let it follow us into the trap." Ludo's voice came through. "EMP field ready. Just lead them over the marker." Maya did a sharp turn near a huge floating rock. The last fighter chased close behind. "Now," Dale shouted. Ludo activated the EMP. A wave of blue energy burst out. The fighter froze in midair, powered down, and crashed into the rock. The crew cheered, but the fight wasn't over. The talon of the crown locked onto their position. "They're charging main cannon," Ken warned. "1 direct hit, and we're dust? Jump drive status?" Dale asked Maya, still charging. "We need 2 more hours." "We don't have 2 hours." Lyra looked up then. "We make 'em blind." "What do you mean?" Dale asked. She pointed at the asteroid field. "There's a gravity core inside that large rock. If we overload it, the field will collapse, create a cloud of debris. They'll lose tracking." Dale thought for a moment. "We'd need to get close. Very close." "I'll do it," Alira said. "No," Dale said instantly. "It's too dangerous. I can handle it. I know how Vetrax cores work. You don't." Maya spoke up. "She's right. We either risk the plan or get blown up." Dale looked at Alira. Her eyes were clear, steady. He gave a short nod. "All right, but I'm going with you." They took a small shuttle and flew toward the giant asteroid. The core was inside a glowing device that balanced gravity for the entire field. It was old, unstable. As they landed, Alira jumped out and began setting charges. Dale watched her carefully. "You sure this will work?" he asked. "If the gravity explodes, it'll throw rocks in every direction. They won't see us escape." Dale helped her set the final charge as they turned back toward the shuttle. Small drone flew toward the enemy scout. It aimed a laser. Dale pushed Alira down and fired. The drone exploded. "You all right?" he asked. She nodded. "Let's finish this." Back on the Iron Spear, Ken counted down. 30 seconds until overload. Maya had already prepared the ship for full speed. "Everyone hold tight," she shouted. The charges exploded. The asteroid cracked. The gravity core glowed bright red. Then burst all across the field. Rocks flew in wild directions. Dust and debris clouded the sky. Inside the talon of the crown, alarms blared. "We've lost visual," shouted an officer. Commander Drex slammed his fist. "Where are they?" But the iron spear was already flying away, hidden by the chaos. Hours later, the crew gathered in the mess hall. The lights were low, food was warm, people were quiet but alive. Dale raised a cup. "We stood and fought, and we survived." Everyone lifted their drinks. Alira stood beside him. "We are not just survivors. We are builders, dreamers, fighters for something better." Cheers echoed through the room. Outside the window, the stars kept shining. But now, hope was shining too. The iron spear floated near a quiet, uncharted moon. Its hull was still scarred from battle, and sparks sometimes flickered behind walls. But inside, the ship was alive with purpose, with unity, and with hope. In the bridge, Dale stood over the galaxy map. Alira was beside him, her eyes fixed on a blinking yellow dot. "There it is," she said. "The hidden colony of ROZV. You're sure they'll help us?" Dale asked. "They were loyal to my father," Alira said. "Before the council took power, before everything changed. If they haven't forgotten, they'll join us." Maya leaned forward. "What if they did forget?" Alira looked at her. "Then we remind them what truth sounds like." The journey took 2 hours through quiet space. No patrols, no enemy scouts, just silence. The kind that felt peaceful, but also dangerous. Ludo worked with the engineer crew, tightening bolts, fixing fuel lines. Ken stayed near the weapons, checking everything twice. Alira remained calm. She had changed. The scared prisoner from before was gone. She walked with quiet strength now, and the crew noticed. Even the younger soldiers began calling her Commander Alira instead of Princess. When the iron spear reached ROZV, a small message came through. "Identify yourself. This zone is restricted." Dale tapped the mic. "This is Sergeant Dale of the Iron Spear. We bring someone you've been waiting for." Long silence. Then a new voice. "Dock at Bay 3, but come unarmed." Oh. Dale turned to Alira. That sounded cautious. "They're afraid," she said. "What?" "But we're not here to bring fear." As the shuttle lowered into Bay 3, Dale, Alira, Maya, and Ken stepped out. No weapons, just simple clothes. The bay was dark, with guards on every side. Alien and human alike stood behind defense barriers. Then a woman stepped forward, older, sharp eyes, wearing a worn coat with a silver Vetrax crest. "I am Reyna," she said. "I once served under your father." Alira stepped forward. "I know your face," Reyna whispered. "But I feared you were lost." "I was locked away," Alira said. "But now I'm here to finish what he started." Reyna studied her. "Words are not enough." "Then I offer more," Alira said. He reached into her coat and showed the royal emblem one only true heirs could carry. Reyna's eyes filled with light. She turned to the guards. "Lower your weapons." Inside the colony's meeting hall, the walls were lined with old banners, photos of peaceful days, and a dusty map of the VTRAX systems. About 20 leaders, humans and aliens, gathered around a round table. Reyna stood at the head. Dale and Alira stood beside her. "The people are ready to rise," Reyna said. "But they fear the fleet. Council has crushed every rebellion so far." "They crush silence," Alira said, "but not truth." Reyna folded her arms. "You have fire, child, but fire needs fuel. Do you have ships? Troops? Support?" Dale stepped forward. "We've fought their warships. We've escaped their traps. We've sent a message that reached every moon. That's more than most." Reyna nodded. "Still, it won't be enough. Unless..." She turned. To a man at the far end of the table, "We call for General Tovin." Gasps echoed through the room. "Tovin?" Maya whispered to Ken. "Isn't he? The exiled one?" Ken nodded. "A legend. Or a ghost." That night, in a quiet part of the colony, Alira walked alone through a garden dome. The plants were wild, not like the carefully trimmed palace gardens she grew up in. She liked this more real, free, growing as they pleased. Footsteps approached. "Dale, you always find the quiet places," he said. "I think better in silence," she replied. He stood beside her. "What do you think of this place?" "I still believe," Alira said. "Even after all these years, they haven't given up, 'cause they were waiting for someone," Dale said. She looked at him. "I'm not perfect, I'm not strong." "Like my father?" "No," Dale said. "You're stronger. You choose to lead. He was born to it. That's a big difference." She smiled softly. "Thank you." The next morning a ship arrived at the colony, a black old warship with no markings. From it stepped a tall, gray-bearded man with a robotic arm. "General Tovin?" He entered the meeting hall with silence behind him. His eyes scanned the room, cold and sharp. "So," he said, "the princess lives." Alira stood straight. "I do." Tovin circled the table. "And you want war?" "No," she said. "I want freedom. And to stop the war that's already burning." Tovin raised an eyebrow. "Words again." Lyra walked forward and placed a small holodisc on the table. It lit up, showing the faces of captured rebels. "The dead, the lost. Every one of them died because no one stood," she said. "I'm standing now. Will you?" Tovin stared at her. Then slowly he nodded. "You have my fleet." One day later, plans were drawn. Tovin had 3 ships hidden in a nearby ice belt. Reyna's people had spies in 4 colonies ready to rise, and Dale's crew, though small, had the spirit of warriors. The plan: take back the beacon tower on Vetraxa Prime. It was an ancient structure once used to share messages across all systems. If they captured it, Alira could speak again this time. "Live in the Iron Spear's bridge," Dale gave orders. Ken loaded new weapons. Ludo trained young soldiers, and Alira stood before them all. "This is not just my fight," she said. "This is our voice, our future. We don't fight for power, we fight for peace." The crew raised their hands. "For Alira," they shouted as the fleet prepared to leave. Dale stood alone near the window. Alira joined him. "We started this as strangers," she said. "Not anymore," he replied. "Whatever happens next," he looked at her, "we stand together." Ships rose. The stars waited, and ahead the heart of the Empire was watching, but this time it was afraid.